Okay, I'm doing a video where I had contacted Nextdoor in Jacksonville, and I'm doing research on serial killer Theodore Robert Bundy, and I need incident of contact as long as go as 67, 68, and 36 hours and 78. Any even out of state will be appreciated. Then my responses are get all the previous responses if I'm able, because we are sure having a problem with this. Okay. Hunter Barnett. I was in Tallahassee at the time of the Chi Omega murders and had a friend living in the house. I do not know of anything reference his time in Jax. I did know two of the girls in the sorority house who were murdered. It was a strange time in Tally post-murders. Hunter, thank you. Meredith Burkhalter. I graduated University of Central Florida. One of my professors told us a story when he was a young boy on the beach with his mom somewhere on the Space Coast. Ted Bundy creeped on them then, and his mom rushed them to the car, and he tried to cling onto as they drove away. Crazy. This post will hit another area besides the West Side. People may range from 50 to 80, or children or grandchildren who knew their stories. Thanks to all. Barbara Murray Smith. This one is really creepy. I don't know that my experience during the Ted Bundy was prowling in Jacksonville actually involved him, but we have always believed it did. I went to the grocery store one night located on the corner of Normandy and Memorial Park Road. That's been my thing too. I think he rubbed some of the dirt because they had to bring dirt in for the burials because Florida has asphalt, what is it, potassium, whatever it has, phosphate. And it's like beach sand, and that's not good for burying folks. So they have to bring in clay sand from Georgia or somewhere, and I think he rubbed that on the outside of the van too, just as an aside. And this puts him in direct location with Green Acres. So anyway, Barbara Murray. I was located at the corner of Normandy and Memorial Park. The parking lot was poorly lit. Two sides are the temple for funerals, and then also their parking lot, or the cemetery itself. No, they would be on what I call the west side of the buildings of Memorial Park. On the right side, or I guess you'd call it the east side, there's a CVS now, and then there's a lot of little shopping plaza. Back in the day, it may have been a mom and pop grocery store. The parking lot was poorly lit and vacant when I parked my car. When I came out the store, there was one other vehicle. An old white van was parked right next to my driver's door with the back door of the van open and no one visible. I stood there a minute thinking, why is this door open? And to get to my driver door, I will have to turn my back to that open door. And I stood, oh, okay, I see how they did it. He parked his van right up to her door. I stood to the back of the van, reached out with my foot and kicked the door shut, and quickly got in my car and locked the door and left. As I said, I don't know if it was Bundy, but it was in the area he reportedly was at that time. Was a short period of time later that they showed up in Lake City, and if I remember correctly, abducted a young girl and murdered her. I have always believed my guardian angel was with me that night. Very smart thinking. I wish you could have gotten the license plate number. Stupid me. Okay. Mary Lou would have been a smart thing to do, but never even occurred to me. I had done, it might have saved the life of the young girl in Lake City a few days later, but I just wanted to get out of there. I never had a doubt that someone was hiding in that van, and when I turned my back, I would have been attacked from behind. My guardian angel was with me that night. Thank you, Barbara. Jeb Stewart Junior High went on lockdown because of him. I remember clearly, 14 years old, I was interviewed with some of other friends regarding contact with a white van in the Kmart parking lot. As an adult, I realized how blessed we were. He killed Kim Leach the next day in Lake City. I went to his execution as well with some other folks, thought karma was good, trolled me in a white van and a white hearse, carried him out of FS Florida State Prison. One minute, alarm's going off. Hang on, guys. All right. I'll go over some that I did not keep one next door, but I'm sure they're in next door. And later we're going to go over my diary, because I've now discovered that right after the incidents, I went to Daytona Beach with my parents. That's new. Thank you, Cricket. My EMT instructor from Lake City Fire Department witnessed Ted Bundy kidnap the young girl. That was 78. Thank you. He was a key witness, I believe. Kelly. Any data from Gator Lodge was lost. I've tried years to get information on Bundy, and a family member of mine that stayed here. Chris, can you tell me a little more? Was a family member a girl or guy? Around what year was this? I've had 2 people say he was there. Any help is very important. A family member and the owner said it too. This was Linda and Lisa King. Her father changed the name to King. They own the Gator Lodge at Phillip in I-95 over in San Marco. And Chris, how old was your mom in 67? Did y'all live in Cedar Hills? Did she have a friend named Jeannie? Did your mom work at Southern Bell? Anything? Even just the most odd thing might help. I do believe he had a friend in Jacksonville. Hopefully it was before he became a life of crime. I met the granddaughter at Chamberlain Book Mine. She said her mother met Ted Bundy at Gator Inn when she was a child. The King family sold the motel in 74, so I wonder if he was there in 68. He attended the GOP convention in Miami. The clerk was either Linda. This child was either Linda or Lisa King. Daughter said they were born in 61 to 62. I can't get either, and I don't know why. I believe he had a friend here in Jacksonville. Chris, is your family member run into Bundy? Patrick Bevan. He came to my grandmother's door and asked her to use her phone. She said his car had broken down and there wasn't a car in the street. She lived on Murray Drive. Thank you, Patrick. Do you think it was February 78? Patrick, it's odd because he was known to have bought gas in St. John's on 17, a few blocks away. I'm not sure of the exact date, but I know it was late in the 70s. I was alive, but I was not enough. I was just a baby born in 75. Thank you, Patrick. Barbara, was it cold, blustery night? He was long, Normandy, Evangel Temple, Green Acres, Parvin and Wilson, spent the night at Holiday Inn on Edison, may have been trolling. Don't remember if it was cold. Someone mentioned an incident at Kmart. He was the Kmart that used to be where Shep's store on Normandy is located now. That's only 2 or 3 blocks from where I encountered him. Not to be nosy, what type of car did you drive? And were you slender, longish hair? I had a red and white Oldsmobile. Okay, like a 409. Had long hair, was much younger and much thinner, laugh out loud. I think it might have been him. Red cars have played a part. His ex in California had a red Mustang, and Carol DeRoche had a red Camaro. I think he bought the stupid name tag. Richard Burton Fire Department, they always had name tags for kids, and the old Kmart is real close to Green Acres. Yes, the old Kmart as well as Green Acres were close to where I was. Kim West. In 1974, I was with my father in Montgomery. This is a long story, and it talks about some guy in a nude vehicle. But, it was 74. Odd. But she doesn't remember the vehicle, and the guy was just a pervert, so that could be anything. It was a light-colored car, and I don't think that was him. I do believe he made it back to Jacksonville in 74. Thank you, Kim. Okay, now, those are the ones that I have written. I also found out that during the time that he was trolling in Jacksonville, there was a girl, the Hispanic sister of her brother's girlfriend at the time, and we're talking 1978, her brother's girlfriend at the time was walking along Wilson between Parvin and Hugh Edwards. And she encountered the white van also, but she had the wherewithal to turn around and run back towards her home on Parvin. And being as even in the 1970s, Wilson was a 2-lane road, but it was fairly busy and there was a sidewalk. So it would be hard to maneuver going back. He could, he would run into somebody, he'd have a wreck, he couldn't make a U-turn. So she managed to get away. From there, if you go to Hugh Edwards, you go to Lane, you go to Normandy, you go to Green Acres, and other places. And I think he went to the Kmart out there too. He also went to another one as a lady from Evangel Temple, which is off of 10 and in the same vicinity as some of these other things. If you go out Normandy and Ramona Boulevard, Evangel Temple. He had gone there and he said he wanted money and food, if he could get a few dollars and some food. And they said, we can't give you money unless you do some errands. I think they did give him some food, but unless he would do some errands, they weren't going to give him money. Another poor lady, I think she went to Gainesville, but she also had to go all the way to Pensacola for some reason. He was one of these people that were going to and from school. And she said on that cold, blustery February, that orange Volkswagen was behind her from the time she left Tallahassee till she went to Eglin Air. She went over some waterways. That was another one. Another guy wrote about a Mr. Bishop in Lake City and said that I think he had a heart attack or it took him down. I think he quit teaching after that or something. And there was another guy that wrote, and I didn't want depressing things, but he was like a 12-year-old kid and he knew Kim Leach. And it's a small town. But he said after that, the kid was a straight A student, doing good. I mean, a high achieving student, unlike me. And he was doing good, but after this incident, he got into alcohol, then he got into drugs, and he went through his teen years as drugged out. It ruined his life, basically. I'm trying to think of any others. The roller dome on Cassett. A guy wrote and said his brother, I think it was his uncle. His uncle was working there, but he was still a teen, and he was like a bouncer. He would check the gate, see who's coming in, who's leaving, who's checking the skates and everything. And he said he was trolling at the roller dome on Cassett in that white van, looking at girls and stuff. And he was asked to leave the area. His uncle had gone out there and told him to get the hell away from the roller dome. That was during the 36 hours. Okay, that's all for now. We're going to go over this diary. I wanted to show you this. So this is my little Vega. This is December of 73, my little Vega. And also I had bought an off-road used Harley Davidson Candy Apple Red. And it's odd because there's so many damn things. See that little yellow sweater? It's a ribbed sweater, which I thought was weird to have a t-shirt type sweater. It was made with sweater material, I guess, from Kmart. And then, of course, the typical bell-bottom corduroys. Okay. All right. And here's the car I drove, another bizarre thing. This is a car that I got to drive. It was a 63 Bel Air, very similar to Denise. Let me show you one other thing before I get out of this. Let's see if I can get back to my email. My computer's been acting way crazy today. You've probably seen this picture before. Okay. Yeah, luckily I got it. This is my Grandmom Connolly to the right, my Aunt Opal, and me. You see the little red t-shirt I was wearing? It was called a surfer shirt. And I got that in Daytona. And this is August of 67, so just a few weeks after. My hands are kind of funny then, like maybe I'd seen things I didn't want to see. But anyway, what had happened is after the incidents at Jeb Stewart, I wanted to go home. That's why when Debbie stopped at the bleachers, because I guess her foot was sore or something, I don't know why she stopped at the bleachers. She had encountered him prior to us. And I said, I'll try to hitchhike. In my mind, I'm thinking maybe Mrs. Wills will go by, maybe Craig Fagan might go by, maybe Paul Howard, maybe Greg Powers, any of the older, maybe the Diane brothers, maybe even the Parker, Stanley Parker. Who knows? Stanley Parker went with him in Utah. But anyway, Stanley passed. But anyway, after the incidents, I was gone. That's why I wanted to go home. Because we were going to Daytona, and I was coming up on 13 years of age, and it would probably be one of the last fun. I love to go to Daytona, to get on them little rafts and just, body surf in the water, and there's a swimming pool. We went to Rip Van Winkle. Okay, but then I was gone for 8 or 9 days, and I come back, and I had written things in my diary. And Debbie said, no, you can't write it in the diary. We were hitchhiking, and he displayed a gun. So I said, and I ripped it out, but I didn't like it. And I'm going to show you how I I obfuscate, or the gorilla, or double entree. I camouflage it because she said, your mom will read the diary, we'll get in big trouble. Okay, and for years and years, I lived with that. Okay, thank you.